In this video, we are going to see about the wrapper classes in Java, and these are the most important classes of the Java that we should use whenever we solve the quite complex problems. So let's start. What is wrapper class? So wrapper class provides a mechanism to convert primitive into an object, which is known as the autoboxing, and object into primitive, which is known as the unboxing. Okay, let me explain this thing with the help of example. So I'm going to the IDE, and here we know that we can declare the primitive type like this. That suppose if I want the integer variable, okay, so we declare like integer my int like this, okay, and we assign some value. This is the primitive type, okay. So what is the primitive type? Primitive type means that we cannot operate or we cannot have the functions uh, which can be applied to this particular variable. That is known as a primitive values or primitive types. Other than that, what we can have a wrapper class, and wrapper class can be declared like this, that integer my int wrapper. This is the example of the wrapper class. So here you can see that these are wrapper type, and here you can see the advantage is key here I can use that whatever functions are there applied to this integer. Okay, this is nothing but what? It is a Java class, right? So whatever functions are available to this class, right? Those functions are applicable to this value. Okay, so there is a difference between the primitive types and the wrapper type. Okay, so this is one of the way to create the wrapper types. Another way is that you can declare the primitive type like this, that integer my int wrapper2 is equal to new integer like this. You can have the constructor of the integer, and you can create the another wrapper type. Okay, so these are the example of the wrapper types. So in Java there are 8 different wrapper types available. So all are based on the primitive data types like boolean, byte, character, integer, float, double, long, and short. So according to that, we have a wrapper class. And what we can have as a construct argument for the boolean, it could be a boolean or it could be a string. For byte, it could be byte or a string. For character, it would be only character. But for integer, it could be integer, string. For float, it could be a float, double, string. For double, it could be a double or string. It could be for the long, it could be long or string. And for the short, it could be a short or string. Let me show you with the help of example. Like here, I can declare the wrapper types like this. Suppose here I have specified the integer value. Okay, but suppose if I want to declare one more, and there I have this my int wrapper 3 is equal to new integer. Okay, and before that, let's say that we have one string like this, that string str is equal to 30 like this. Okay, so if I want to convert the string into the integer, what I can do, just I can pass this str over here, right? And whatever operation that we want to do, that we will able to perform. Okay, so use of wrapper class in the Java. What are the uses? So the first use is that it in the value in the method. Like here, I'm going to show you the example. Like that previously, what happens? That suppose that if you require to pass this value as an argument to some method, let's declare some method like that static do sorry void do some operation. Okay, and suppose if here we have the argument like this, the integer I. Okay, and here suppose on I we are doing some operation like this, that I is equal to I plus. Okay, then here what is going to happen, that suppose here from here this mean if I call this function like this, that do some operation with the my int, and if we want to preserve the updated value of my int, it is not possible. Why? Because here in this case the value would be passed by value, okay, not passed by reference. But with the help of wrapper class, what we can do that the value can be passed by reference. Let me show you how. Like suppose you can do the operation like that, do some operation, okay, and my int, let's say wrapper like this, okay, and that value can be passed over here. The only change which I require to do over here is that instead of primitive type, now I require to have the wrapper type over here. Okay, so that is the meaning of the first statement, that change the value in the method, then it would be preserved if you are going to use the wrapper class. Another one, that serialization is possible, that suppose if I want to write this value into the file, okay, that is possible. Synchronization would also preserve, as now we can do the like object synchronization, as we have learned in our earlier lecture of the 3D programming. And there are so many functions available in the java.util package. Okay, sorry, the classes in the java.util package. We can use those utility classes to deal with the wrapper type objects. And all classes of the collection framework like array list, linked list, vector, hash set, linked hash set, tree set, priority queue, array queue, etc. deals with the object only. So at that time we cannot specify the primitive type, but we must require to have the values in the object type. So there this wrapper class are going to be used. We cannot provide the null value to the primitive types, but to the wrapper class we can assign the null value. So wrapper class can be used in such cases if we want to assign a null value to a primitive data types. So what is auto boxing? So here I'm having the example of the auto boxing. So suppose you have declaration like this, that integer a is equal to 10, where your integer is the wrapper type. It is a Java class. Okay. So here what will happen, that the constant value of 10 or value 10 would be converted to the object type. Okay, you can have another wrapper type like byte b is equal to 10, okay, double d is equal to 20.0. So all these are example of what auto boxing. So automatically all this constant value would be converted to the object type. What is unboxing? Unboxing means the reverse of that, means converting the object into the primitive type. So integer a, suppose you have declared that integer a is equal to new integer 3, and then suppose if you are writing that integer j is equal to a, then automatically that object would be converted to the primitive type. Okay, so this would be done automatically, which is known as the unboxing. So what are the utility methods of the wrapper classes in the Java? The first utility method, that is the value of, what this method does. Okay, so this method takes the string as an argument and converts it into the integer object. Okay, and it is a static method, right? Remember that thing. So here is the example, like here you can have the integer dot value of and 10. This 10 string would be converted into the integer 10. Okay. Another example is that you can have the integer value of string with the radix. This method will be useful if you have your data in the string format, but it is in a binary like this. That here you can see this is a binary 1111. Okay, so you can specify that this is the data in the binary. You convert it into the integer decimal. Okay, so here that this is nothing but what it is, a value 15. That value 15 would be stored in this integer object. Another example of it is that like value of, you can specify the primitive type, and here you can see this is the example of integer I is equal to integer dot value of 10. So another methods like you can have these methods are there for all the wrapper class, like byte value that will return the byte of the corresponding integer value, or some other data type like short value and integer value, long value, float value, and the double value. Okay. Another group of methods are parse integer, which converts the string value to the normal primitive type. That is the difference between the value of method and the parse int method. Here, the output would be the primitive type. So here you can see the example that integer dot pass integer, it will convert the string into the normal integer value. Okay. So here another example that the pass int with the radix, like here, if the data is in the binary, the string value in the binary, okay, that's why this 2 is specified. So this would convert that this binary value into the its equivalent decimal representation and store into the variable I, that is the 15. Okay, right? So another one, that toString method that converts the that wrapper type or the primitive type to the string. Okay. Here you can see that suppose if you want to convert the integer to the string, what you can do, you can call a method that is I.toString. Okay. Another example is that like a toString int, okay, is the method where you can specify the normal primitive type. Here, please make the correction. Here, you should have some primitive value. Okay. Another example is that where you can specify the radix, right? Like suppose if you want to convert integer value into the binary, then you can specify the index and specify the radix, and you can store into the string. And later on, what you can do, you can convert the string into the character array, right? So that you can have that binary into the character array, right? That is what we can do. So sometimes we require to process the binary data. At that time, this method would be very much useful to us.